Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How's everybody this morning? We've got a full house. We got John sitting on a coffee table back there, and up against stole the show. we were actually appalled, but I'm glad you're here to rein them in today. All right.
I've never done a laundry.
Oh yeah, that's actually true. I've never actually done any laundry in my life. But there was a time when we lived in acreage in Calgary. Now the only reason I would tell you these crazy stories is just to prove to you my level of incompetence. And just let you know that, hey, if I can do this business, there's not one person in this room that can't, okay? So, and Barb's holding him captive down there saying, hey, my husband needs to talk to you about this installation job here too. So I come storming down there, I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. I said, now what kind of an installation job is this? I mean, look at, and then all of a sudden I hear water dripping. And now I'm thinking, man, because this guy has just been there to fix whatever he's been supposed to fix or change out, the filters or whatever was wrong. And now I'm hearing water dripping, and I'm thinking, oh, this guy's created another problem. I hear water dripping. So I'm talking about, hey, I hear a leak. And Barb says, it's the washing machine. I said, no, I hear a leak, because this is in the laundry room. There's water dripping somewhere. The crux of the matter, the core of the matter, and in my opinion, if you don't, especially when it comes to corporate structuring, if you don't set it up this way, you're really, really exposing yourself to risks that you really shouldn't expose yourself to. And what you're going to learn here today is not going to be on that video when I'm talking about corporate structuring, because there's a lot of legal advice. That's why you signed that disclaimer, so that I can talk freely here, because I'm not a lawyer, I'm not an accountant. You need to, whatever I say today, I want you to go and get checked out by your own lawyers, by your own accountants, because I'm not one. And what I'm talking about today is from my own experience and the way we're set up and that sort of thing. So, but I think you should take the advice. Try to do your self-promotion. It doesn't always work out. But if somebody else promotes you, doesn't that work out a lot better? Okay? Because it's almost like social proof. It's the testimonial. Hey, go check out that Ross and Barb. You know, they're really upfront, trustworthy people. You're going to like working with them, that sort of thing, right?
Also
websites, yes. And John and I had a conversation this morning that a website on its own is almost, you know, I wouldn't say useless, but as far as driving leads, it has to be more than just a website. It has to be a website that will actually drive leads, that will attract people, that causes them to take some action. And a lot of people will have a website, and it will do nothing more than you got to send somebody to the website. Here that Joe's very involved in, because Joe and Caroline came to help me out of that mess, and in turn they've got themselves in some mess out of that deal too. So we're all in it together, sort of thing now, right, Joe?
Yeah.
And Neil as well, my friend Neil. And so it's turned out to be a really bad deal for a lot of people. Barb and I are the last people standing in the whole project. Everybody else is pretty much gone, right, Joe? So
Kevin's serving around.
yeah, we were the biggest and largest investors in the project, and it's really taken a toll financially, emotionally, and everything else on us. And so we're waiting to see in June or July firms setting up structures. Some of the big, what Caroline figures is the most foremost risk management lawyers in North America, right here in Toronto.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've learned a lot. Okay, so I would say that for all of you, take risk management very seriously. It's not a matter of if you're going to get sued in this business, it's only a matter of when. Don't let that stop you. Just understand that you need to be structured in such a way that you can operate and go to bed at night and sleep well. Okay? All right, so talking about how the process. So we found these good tenants through the. It's not going to happen. So there, let's just eliminate 50% of those, the dreamers, right off the bat. And then there's people who are close but no cigar. They're close to getting in, but it's still not going to work for them. So two things mainly, Andrew. First of all, I'm not too concerned about their credit history. I'm not too concerned that they have they're 5% down. All I want to know is they have at least 4 months rent and option together, right, as their down payment. And the second thing I'm concerned about is, can they afford the monthly? If they can do those two things, that's really my pre-qualifying at that point. Okay?
And if they're close,
Well, if they're close, for example, we put somebody in a property. So how do we do that? We can call them up. We can advertise for them. What are we looking for in the for rent sections? We're looking in the for sale section. So if the house is for rent, we can call the house for rent. Hey, that sounds nice. Would you like rent own or something? Remember that? Yep. Or if the house is for sale, we could ask them and go through the for sale script that I gave you and get the. I was giving you an all cash deal with no conditions and a real fast closing. What would be your bottom line? You know that whole sales script there? So the house is for sale, because does it really matter whether it's for rent or for sale? If it's for rent, we can do a sandwich lease, possibly, or maybe even buy it. If it's for sale, could we just go ahead and buy it? And on tomorrow, I'm going to show you how to buy as many homes as you want. Fair enough? With no money. So now, real estate is 5 minutes. We do this all the time. But one hand has to wash the other. If you're always just phoning the real estate agent and getting him to do things for you and you never do anything for him, that's going to wear thin. So, for example, we just had a deal in Calgary, and we could have gone directly to the listing realtor, but we didn't. We phoned up the realtor we were working with, and we said, hey, Joe. His name is Joe. Hey, Joe, why don't you phone this house for us? And that, because we didn't contact the listing realtor directly, we phoned our realtor to contact the listing realtor. That means that Joe gets a share in the commission. Mm-hmm. Even though Joe really doesn't have to do very much. We'd already found the house, we already knew what we wanted, but we put Joe in the middle. Economy, but at best it's a guess. Would you agree? Because none of you really have a crystal ball, but I'm going to suggest that you go to the dollar store and get one. And when you get one, you can buy them at the dollar store for about $5, and they're, sometimes you can shake them up and it looks like snow. You know what I'm saying? And so what you do is you get one and take it home, and if you rub it, and you go, crystal ball, what will the appreciation factor be for the next 3 years? And the number will pop in your head. It just does. It pops in your head. That's the number you use. What are you laughing at? That's the way it works. It's at best a guess, isn't it? And your guess is as good as mine. I mean, you think it's 4% Gail, I'm okay with that. If I think it's 3, I'm okay with that. Kenton, you're a pessimist, you think it's 2, all right? Over and above the fair market rent to be applied towards option consideration or their down payment. Do you follow what I said? So if the fair market rent is $1,000 in the area and you're charging $1,100 a month, or let's say $1,200 a month, could I give Josh, under that circumstances, $400 a month back towards his down payment?
rent is how much?
If the fair market rent in the area is $1,000, I'm charging Josh $1,200 a month because I got $1,000 rent and $200 option consideration. Can I give him $400 a month back? Used to be able to. Matter of fact, Joe, that's how we started out in Godstone. We were charging $1,700 a month or something, and we were giving $1,000 a month back. Okay, I got it. All right. So here's the excerpt from CMHC. And here's Ross's interpretation of this. I just sent this out last week to a student, Cam Rowland. So he'll coach you, and like Cam, I forget how many years ago. Actually, John, you came with Cam. Or Cam came with you. Sorry, out to my place. What's that? He took yeah. Cam, and then Cam has actually coached with me 4 different times already. 3 days and 1 day coaching. All right. Why would he keep doing that? Because we're always talking about the next thing, the newest thing. And right now, for those of you who know Cam and James and Marco, and they've become very successful in what they're doing. And now I've actually passed them on to my coach, Tony, and I'm still working with them. So Tony has become their high-level strategist, and I'm coaching on their day-to-day business. Whole thing. Okay, next sentence. I'll move it up for you guys. Is this good for you guys? I mean, this is real life here. This is what you've got in CMHC. Okay, question. This is only the monthly payment of amount in excess of the market rent for the property. So I kind of wrote, and you've got to realize I'm writing to Cam here. Okay? Sure, no problem, big brother. Canadian government. The tenant buyer makes their monthly payments, not payment as stated, to us in 2 separate checks. One for the rent check and another for the monthly option consideration. This option contract law, if and only if they exercise their option. Since they don't mention it, I guess it's okay that we do this. Right? There's no problem here. If Josh gives me 10 grand up front, I guess it's okay with CMHC that I give it back to him, because in their excerpt they don't mention anything about an initial option consideration. And since we contractually agreed to it and we had it notarized and everything else, I think it's fine. It is, by the way. I'm just being a little bit, the government really doesn't do much for me, you know what I'm saying? Now C, the tenant buyer's monthly option consideration. The sentence says this option must be final option consideration. Now you guys, some of you might not know what a final option consideration is. I'm going to talk about that later today, so I'm not going to get into it today, but we also have a final option consideration. Again, they don't mention this in their excerpt, so I guess it's okay that we give it back to the tenant as per the option contract. Hey, if they don't mention it, I guess it's okay. So I can give them back their initial option consideration, I can give them back their final option consideration, and I guess I can give them back their monthly option as long as it's anything above the fair market rent. See why we have to collect the fair market rent today? Or you know what it is today and put it on file? All right, now, next sentence. This is the